Hallo liebe Metal.de Gemeinde, wir sitzen heute hier mit Markus Vanhala von unter anderem Insomnium, die heute hier auf dem Sommerbreeze spielen. Eckart kennt ihr vielleicht auch von diversen Artikeln auf metal.de und ich bin Angela. Und was wir heute machen werden, ist, wir werden Biere verkosten. Wir haben natürlich unser eigenes Metal Hell dabei. Wir haben aber vor allem auch, was Markus mitgebracht hat, ein Insomnium Bier und ein Iorio Gathering Bier. From the land of 1,000 lakes comes the man with 1,000 dance. Today we're actually going to be talking a little bit about CEMETERY SKYLINE, your newest baby.
I've promised the people that I'm not going to form new bands at least for 2 years now.
Okay, but first let's each, can you just pour maybe this beer, you pour this beer and pour that beer here.
Of course.
And as we taste
there was
yeah.
the most important key of them all.
Discuss the beers. So yeah. Beer facts first. So ours is called Metal Hell. It's a Helles beer lager. We also got an Helles Insomnium.
Yeah, it's.
What do we have?
And that's
the West Coast IPA.
Wow, that's probably the strongest one. And this Insomnium beer, that's a Finnish brewery, my friends, but he really likes the German style of brewing, and this is Helles beer, so really easy light beer, and we wanted to do it that way with Insomnium. It says here like musta mieli, kirkas olut. That means your mind is black, but the beer is white. White.
So we also working, of course, with the brewery. Here you can see it's Frau Gruber, which is the brewery that provides this beer, and it's a 4.8%.
I think this was 4.6.
5.5 over here.
Yeah.
So basically, let's start with that. No, let's actually start with the Insomnium one.
Yeah, I think that might be the lightest one, so it's wise to go.
Thank you.
Okay.
The lightest to strongest. Yes.
Cheers.
Prost. Skål.
Kippis. In Finnish.
Kippis, okay.
Kippis. It has a really nice. It goes down very well.
Yeah.
So it's a very. In German we say süffig.
Süffig, yeah.
Drinkability, like you can drink 70 easily in these, so that's what we were after, like beer that you can drink a lot, like we in Finland love it.
Moving on to the first band question. So Insomnium, like your most well-known band probably. Funny stories is that Eckart, who has been with metal.de for a long time, used to always review your albums and do all the Insomnium things, and then when I
Back in the days. Then Angela took over.
Then you stole the position.
I stole it from him. So it was just nice to have this set up with also with Eckart for this.
Yeah.
And also because yes, it's like passing the torch. But also because when I told him about CEMETERY SKYLINE yesterday, you haven't heard of them, right? Or you weren't
the name of the band, but not the song yet. So
and that was
but
something.
I heard it's quite rocky. It's rock.
Yeah, it's gothic rock.
Gothic.
Dark rock somehow, and we
sounds interesting.
And really loved it because. Well, I hate the word supergroup, which of course label is using and media is using, because it's a group of friends, like from the road, like Michael from Dark Tranquility, Halo Effect, and Victor from Dimmu Borgir and Entombed, and Vesa from Sentenced, and Santeri from Amorphis, and we are just friends, and we wanted to do music with friends and not think about like now we form a supergroup or something bullshit. And we just wanted to play gothic music, like we all loved gothic music in the 90s, like Type O Negative, Sisters of Mercy, The Mission, Fields of Nephilim, and this kind of stuff. And then I love it, like now when the label is putting the sticker like bands, Amorphis, Dark Tranquility, Dimmu Borgir, Insomnium, and it's nothing like that. All the melodic death metal fans will disappoint because it's something completely different, and that was our evil plan. No grows.
That was actually something I was going to ask about, because people are going to look at the band members and where they know them from. But what's it like if you were going to say for fans of And I mean, you just mentioned a whole bunch of bands that you were influenced by. So is it like for fans of these bands?
I would definitely promote that more for fans of these bands I mentioned, and not for fans of Dimmu Borgir, because it haven't got anything to do with Dimmu Borgir except Victor.
Okay, move on to the middle beer, the metal.de
Yes, please.
beer. So just grab one.
Maybe not finishing this.
This one.
This or
Just
so this is also Helles lager.
Yeah.
yes.
Prost.
Tippies, yeah.
Maybe you're gonna notice something.
Tricky question. It's definitely more, not so light that the Insomnium beer, so it have more body.
So what some people have said, and what I also kind of taste.
It's like kind of like crispy.
So would you agree? Because I think you are an IPA fan, if I remember right. Because what some people have said is that it has a little bit of an IPA flavor to it.
Yeah, there's a bit like more than, definitely more hoppier than the Insomnium of Helles.
Yes.
So that's the crispy treble somewhere here.
Yeah,
You can
like
sense it.
like here.
Yeah.
So would you also agree with that?
Yeah. It's definitely not that light, and I like the beer with taste, so it's good. Also, like I love also Pilsner, and that's why we did the Helles. So it's either really hoppy or then completely clear.
Next question about Cemetery Skyline. I talked to Mikael recently for Doctor Quality, and he actually mentioned that it was, I think he said challenging or even intimidating to like do this rock, like dark metal album, because he's like, I like to scream. So how did you feel about, like, what was it like for you to I mean, you cover broad like spectrum of styles, right? You have a micro band as well. So what was this like for you, just writing the music for this stuff?
Well, one of my most important bands in the world have always been Type O Negative, and this whole idea came like, let's rip off Type O Negative, which we failed. It doesn't sound like Type O Negative, but I think it's a good thing. But somehow, like, Mike has been my good friend for over 15 years or so, and I know that he can really sing. There's bits and pieces in Dark Tranquility albums that he has really soulful voice, and then I just asked, like, do you want to do this? And he listened to the first demos and was, yes, good songs, I love this, and this is something completely different. And that's why to form new bands, it has to be completely different. Like, why would form a new melodic death metal band with just a little bit different theme or whatever? And it worked, and we took our time. Like, this is the album I spent most time on any albums I've done. Like, we did this over 4 years, this album, and we didn't have any pressures because there was no label. We didn't have a plan to do an album or so. So we actually honestly did music, and that we wanted to do, and something completely different. And Michael was scared like hell at first on singing completely clean, and he was perfect even on the first demo he made at home, and he was really happy that this took some time. And then he said, like, thanks that we didn't do the album 2 years after forming the band, because now he's been ready to sing, like he said. And we had the first gig in Finland like a month ago, and Michael said on the stage, like, this is the first gig ever for me that I'm a real singer. And people were laughing. But he was stressing so much that gig, and I can understand, because he's been doing rolling gigs for 30 years, and first time ever naked singing, clean singing. So, and it went spectacularly well, so he's a real singer.
Nice. Was this at Dark River Festival?
And John Smith.
John Smith, right.
Yeah, and that was hats off to Mr. John Smith. When he heard about this band, and I sent him a few demos, and he said, like, name your price. I want this first gig and you have to do a gig, and we were like, we actually haven't thought that are we a live band, and so now we already have a bunch of gigs booked for next year, and Mr. John Smith accidentally made us a real live band.
So how about we move on to the Omnium Gathering Beer, which is an IPA. So
yeah,
I think this one.
this is like my real school.
Super fruity, just from smelling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Keep this.
I've been drinking so many of these.
Okay.
Getting the royalties as a beer, that's the best thing working with breweries.
So it has the fruity definitely, but it's not super hopsy. So I expected more of a hops aftertaste.
Yeah.
Just mention,
It is like a
Yeah.
West Coast style IPA of like California, USA. That's what we were after, and it's like a drinkable. I don't like too hipster hoppy IPAs that make you like this.
Okay.
It has to be drinkable, and I've tested. You can drink easily 10 of those.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Vanhala approved. Okay. Last question about CEMETERY SKYLINE, or like to finish the band part. You mentioned some gigs. What's next? You have some singles out. There's an album. Is there like something that you can say about the next? Just what can people expect about when?
Well, there's gonna be a new video and new single still before the album release, and then after the album release, everyone is busy with another bands. That's gonna be tricky with this band because many other bands. Michael's having 3 albums coming out before next summer.
Okay, yeah.
So it's been a bit difficult to fit some stuff, but we are happy for every little one show we can do because they're something special. And I'm not never say never, but I don't think CEMETERY SKYLINE will be a band that makes like a long tours, or at least we are not gonna tour USA with the band. That's what we have decided. Like that's been done in the past with other bands, and we are too old for that. But some cool gigs coming definitely, and we are doing the nice gigs that we want to do and taking it easy. And I have strong faith for the album because really satisfied for that, and I'm a pessimistic Finn. I don't usually like own stuff so much, and actually we've been doing many funny things with CEMETERY SKYLINE different than like in the normal music business. Like the John Smith gig, the band name was announced by the festival before anyone knew about the band. It was just because Mr. John Smith is crazy, and he took my crazy joke that you should just publish the name and it's up on the poster, says CEMETERY SKYLINE. It was like amorphous behemoth testament CEMETERY SKYLINE, and people were like, what the fuck is this? And that's exactly what we were after, like teasing people, and people were thinking, is this like a reunion of Sentenced or reunion of him? And we were like, almost, but not quite. And then for the record label side, we had an Insomnium meeting in Berlin on the Century Media headquarters, and then I just took Philip, the boss of Century Media, like, come here, I have a new demo. And he was like, what? This is really old school. And we went to Sony Music Room, and I played the demo to Philip, and Philip was like, what is this? And in the middle of the first song he was like,
It's a contract.
yeah, what is this? I definitely want to sign this, but tell me more. And then I said, like, you know all the people playing in this band, and you should at least spot the singer because it's on your label. And then it took a few minutes with Philip. Is it Michael? It was like, grand prize for you.
So the band's kind of like your comfort band, like a comfort food that that's kind of comfy, and just feels nice and warm, and that sounds like that's your comfort band.
Yeah, really in a comfort zone, and kind of like got a good self-esteem because I knew that this is good. So it was easy to present to the label, and I knew that of course they should love this. And the way to do. We have a beer before the album and before the gig, but it was sold out on the gig, and it was like black IPA. It was quite dark and strong. Really good one. But
so is there a way to get these?
Unfortunately, as we are living in a really alcohol bureaucratic land of Finland, it's impossible to export these from Finland at the moment because the breweries doesn't have the license to sell outside Finland. But
and if you are on holiday in Finland, can you buy this at what is it called?
Alko.
Alko. Yeah.
Basically, they are in some really good supermarket, which have really good beer store, but it's not that uncommon. It's not in every shop because tiny breweries, special things.
Flying out of Helsinki, you could actually take more. You can take up to 2 liters in like larger cans now in your hand luggage. So I found that out. That's what I tried out. That's also my research.
So you will be our exporter to Germany.
So if people are
every flight.
Yes, if people are visiting Finland, that's actually an option.
Yeah.
So then, thank you so much for bringing the beer and telling us about the band. We're excited.
Thank you.
And
let's finish